The illusion of time. Time, it's everywhere. In the ticking of clocks, the wrinkles we earn, the memories we cherish. It governs our schedules, defines our ages, and even shapes how we perceive life. But what is time, really? Have you ever wondered why, when we're children, the days seem endless? And why, as we grow older, they slip through our fingers like fine sand? This question has crossed centuries, intriguing philosophers, puzzling scientists, and even dividing mathematicians. Today, we're going to explore a rarely discussed truth. The time we live is not the same as the time we measure. Get ready for a journey through philosophy, science, mathematics, and human consciousness. By the end of this video, you may never see time the same way again. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you live the present. The duality of time, external time versus internal time. Throughout history, humans have understood time in two fundamental ways, as an objective measure and as a subjective experience. Plato described time as a moving image of eternity, born with the cosmos, an imitation of the eternal in motion. Aristotle, a century later, gave a more practical view. He saw time as a number of movement, something measurable, but he also recognized that without a soul to perceive change, time would have no meaning. Already he hinted at two dimensions, the external ticking of the universe and the internal ticking of our minds. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we meet Henri Bergson, the French philosopher who shattered traditional notions by distinguishing between clock time and lived time. He called this internal flow la durée, duration. Duration isn't something you measure, it's something you feel. To Bergson, the time of clocks is an artificial slicing of reality, a mathematical construct designed to organize life. But the time we truly experience is fluid, elastic, and deeply emotional. 1 minute waiting in line can feel like an hour, while an hour with someone you love can pass in a heartbeat. This duality is fundamental. We do not live by the clock. We live through our perception of change. We live inside the duration. Science versus experience. Einstein and the relativity of time. The early 20th century witnessed a philosophical collision between two giants, Albert Einstein and Henri Bergson. Einstein's theory of relativity revolutionized physics by proposing that time is not absolute. It bends and stretches depending on speed and gravity. According to his equations, time passes slower for someone traveling near the speed of light or in strong gravitational fields. These ideas, later confirmed by atomic clock experiments aboard satellites, changed how we understand reality. GPS systems, for example, need to correct for relativistic time differences or they'd be hopelessly inaccurate. But Bergson wasn't opposing the math. He respected the equations. What he challenged was the idea that these equations explained what it feels like to live through time. At a public debate in 1922, Einstein famously said, "The time of the philosophers does not exist." For him, only measurable time, scientific time, was real. Bergson replied that this was a tragic narrowing of human understanding. He argued that reducing time to physics erases our inner lives. It ignores memory, anticipation, and emotion, the very essence of being human. Science can map the universe, but it cannot map the heartbeat of a moment. The mathematics of time. Why aging accelerates the clock. There's a curious pattern that many of us feel. The older we get, the faster time seems to pass. Mathematics offers one possible explanation. It's called the proportional theory of time perception. At age 5, a single year represents 20% of your entire life. At age 50, it's just 2%. The longer you've lived, the smaller each additional year feels in comparison. Time doesn't change, but your frame of reference does. This shrinking perception is amplified by routine. Neuroscience has shown that new experiences activate more of the brain, which makes time feel slower and more vivid. Remember your first day of school? First kiss? The trip you took to a place you'd never been? These moments are rich with neural activity. They expand in memory. But most adult days blend together. Commute, work, scroll, sleep. When novelty disappears, our perception of time collapses. It's not that time is moving faster, it's that we're noticing less of it. Mathematically and neurologically, time stretches when we fill it with meaning and shrinks when we fall into patterns. Emotions and the elasticity of time. Time is not just shaped by novelty, it's molded by emotion. The psychologist Claudia Hammond describes what she calls the time warp illusion. In one study, people with arachnophobia were shown a spider for 45 seconds. Afterward, most participants swore it lasted several minutes. Fear distorts time. So does joy, or boredom, or anticipation. Why? Because our emotional states regulate neurotransmitters that affect our internal clocks. Dopamine, often associated with pleasure and reward, speeds up our sense of time. Time flies when you're having fun? That's not just a saying, it's neuroscience. Meanwhile, stress hormones like cortisol can slow perceived time, especially during danger or discomfort. In emergencies, we enter hyper-awareness. Seconds feel like minutes. Our brains don't just passively experience time, they construct it moment by moment through feeling. Duration, living time in its purest form. Bergson's idea of duration offers a powerful alternative to the tyranny of the clock. It invites us to experience time in its purest, most human form. Duration isn't mechanical, it's musical. It flows, it stretches, it lingers. It's the time of stories, not schedules. When you are fully immersed in love, art, nature, or deep conversation, you experience duration. In these moments, time loses structure, seconds lose meaning. You are not counting, you are being. Living in duration means reconnecting with presence. Not presence as in mindfulness buzzwords, but as a radical return to the immediate, to the depth of now. To live in duration is to escape measurement and enter experience. The cost of modern acceleration. Modern life runs on clock time. Every second counts. Productivity, deadlines, schedules. We are ruled by the metric of minutes. Technology has amplified this tyranny. Social media fragments our attention into micro moments. Notifications constantly pull us out of the present. In a world of infinite distractions, we lose the ability to settle, to focus, to feel. Our nervous systems are overstimulated. Our identities are scattered. We become machines trying to keep up with machines. And beneath it all, anxiety. The sense that we're always late, always behind, never quite present. We live fast, but we do not live deep.